what is happening? Welcome back to our channel. Today I wanted to share with you the 7-8 things that I have learned since moving to Hawaii. I have been here about 3 months. We own a house here, so all the different things from owning a house and being more on the North Shore to just general Hawaii things. I wanted to break it down with you and share what I have learned in the first 90 days. It's like a 90-day review of Hawaii. All right, so number one is cost. This is cost of houses, cost of utilities, cost of gas, cost of groceries. It's actually the cost of everything in Hawaii is just so much more expensive than it is on the mainland. For example, utilities here are about the exact same price as utilities as in Virginia that we paid. So to put into perspective, we have a 600 square foot home here, no AC, no heat, and I very rarely run the washer. I don't even use the dryer. I use the washer 1 to 2 times per week, and the dryer I don't use at all. I did hand washing of clothing for a while, as well as I haven't used the oven and different things like that, and it's about the same amount per month. It's $80 just for me to live here for utilities a month. Where in Virginia, we have a 1,400 square foot house with AC and heat. We use the oven all the time. I had an air fryer, I had an Instapot, I had a crock pot, I had all these different things. I ran loads every single week, and it was $80. So just to put that in perspective, if you live here and have a house and you use AC, so expensive. So not only are groceries and gas and houses expensive, but the cost of moving here is very expensive. It's gonna cost you, especially if you want to bring a car, close to $8,000-$10,000 to make the move. You have to pay if you have any pets, all the processes to get them here. You have to ship a car. You also have to ship your things, which we had a 7 foot by 7 foot pod, and that was still multiple thousands of dollars. So if you have the ability to come and rent or buy a fully furnished place, that's the key, or just come and expect to go to Goodwill to buy furniture. All right, number 2 for you is a minimalistic lifestyle. Everyone here, because of how much things are expensive, there is not an emphasis on things. There is an emphasis on your life and friendships and nature, and everything around that is very minimalistic. So I do not see people here with all their hair really done nice and their nails done. They obviously don't self-tan because the sun tans you here, but they do not do all those services. I'm sure in Honolulu they do, but Honolulu, I'll talk about how it's very more of just a city. It's not really the Hawaii lifestyle. So if you are here outside of Honolulu, it is just embrace who you are, embrace what you have. Don't have to have the best clothes, you don't have to have the best swimsuit, and you just enjoy life very minimalistically, as well as the houses are very small, so you cannot have a super large house and a plethora of things because it is just so expensive here that you don't need that, and you learn to live with what you have. Going along those lines, our washer actually broke, and my first gut instinct was, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? I don't have a washer, I'm gonna have to go to the laundromat. And then I restarted thinking, no, I don't need that here. There are people here who don't have washers. I can make do. So I actually washed things for a while in the utility sink and hung them out to dry. It was just that very minimalistic of living with what you have and making it work and being happy with that. Also, something that I find really interesting, along with the no need for awesome clothes or just a very minimalistic lifestyle, you'll go to the grocery store here and people will not be wearing shoes or shirts. Guys, I've seen women without shoes, but women are always wearing shirts. But the guys will walk around with no shirt and no shoes, and they'll just be in a public grocery store, or I've even seen some people at church without shoes on. So it's just very be as you are, and it's accepted, and it's just that minimalistic culture. So the next thing that I want to talk to you, number 3, is the effects of the ocean. Now, living on an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean means that you're going to have a ton of rust on your cars, rust on anything outside. The salt water just causes things to rust really easily. So I didn't really understand that until moving here. We had a truck, and obviously we got an older truck because we knew it was going to rust. But not only trucks, but your washing machine and dryer, if you have one at your house, is actually located outside, which means that you should get covers, because anything that you buy that is outside is going to get rusty if it's metal. Something else that I have noticed is even one of my friends has a ball cap, and those little metal pins on the top of the ball cap where the top comes together, that rusts and it bleeds. So anytime you go outside wearing things, even if it's a little belt buckle or your backpack, if you're outside for a long period of time, it's really important to wipe it down or rinse it. So anytime I do anything, snorkeling, walking on the beach, even if I'm wearing shoes with a little bit of like a metal flip-flop accent to it, I rinse it with the hose as soon as I get back. So the fourth thing I wanted to talk to you about is the distance, and there's a lot of different factors with distance, not only distance from like the mainland, time zone, but also distance on the island depending on where you live to groceries and to just typical errands that you have to run on a regular basis. So for starters, it is very far away from the mainland. My family is from New York, so it is about 11 to 12 hours on an airplane, plus all the layovers and like getting to the airport early. It is an entire day just to get to your family if they live on the East Coast. If they live anywhere else, like it's obviously gonna take a lot longer. West Coast, it's still about 6 hours, so it's a still pretty big chunk to get to family. There's also a really big time difference, and from my family on the East Coast, it's 6 hours. Now, Hawaii actually doesn't recognize daylight savings time, so during this part of the year, it's only 5 hours, but 5 hours is still a really big difference. If I want to talk to my family, I have to talk to them during the earlier parts of my day, because by the time it's like my late afternoon and I'm kind of winding down for the night, they are well into their nighttime. Some people here actually mention the quote of island fever, where you can't get off the island and you want to like go out and do things and you want to like go on a road trip. There's no road trips here. If you want to do a road trip, it's just to the other side of the island, to the North Shore, to Honolulu. It's that island fever that they call it. I don't find that as anything that I have experienced. Now, I've only been here for 90 days, but I'm also an introvert and don't really feel like I need to be traveling all the time. I never really felt that way. So I'm really happy where I'm at. Plus there's a ton of things to do here. So if you really want to go to like a rainforest part or a city, or you want to go to like a desert part, they have all these like microclimates on the island, so you can really tour the island and have that be like your road trip. So I haven't really had island fever, but if you are far away from family, you may be more homesick. But if you're an extrovert and you like to travel, living here is going to be a little difficult. And lastly, the distance in terms of the distance of where you live in proximity to errands. Now, if you live in Honolulu, you are just going to live in a typical big city. It doesn't really feel like Hawaii. Like, yes, there's Waikiki Beach, but it's very commercialized, and the city itself doesn't really make you feel like you are in Hawaii. When I think of Hawaii, I think of oceans, mountain, rainforest, and that's the North Shore. So if you want to live in the North Shore and experience that very cultural, local, rainforest, beautiful Hawaii feel, you're gonna have to live a little farther away from Honolulu. So we live on the North Shore of Hawaii, and it takes about an hour to get to Costco, Sam's Club, to get really decently priced gas for our truck, for different things along those lines. It takes an hour to get there. If I have to get an oil change, it's gonna take 30-40 minutes to get there. There's nothing really close to where we live. Now, there are grocery stores, like if I ran out of eggs really quickly, I needed to get some, but because it's so close, they know that you have to travel far away to get a decent price, so they rack up the prices. So you can be spending like $7-8 on a dozen eggs, or you can be spending like $8 on a gallon of milk, where if you go to Costco, it's way cheaper. So I know I've mentioned some of like the negative things that I've learned in the first 90 days, even though they're very minor for me, and I haven't really experienced island fever, and I don't really think I will, but there are some awesome positives that bring this to be one of the best places I've ever lived in my life, and something where I feel like this place is like so perfect for me. And that is, if you are really outdoorsy, you really like hiking, swimming, snorkeling, being on the beach, walking on the beach, exploring like rainforest type climates, or just being outside all the time because the weather is so good, then this is a really great place. It's beautiful, it is stunningly gorgeous, and there are so many things to do, and you don't even have to spend that much money to do the things. If you even wanted to surf, you can surf every single day at a beach nearby. Once you buy a surfboard, like, you don't have to pay any money. You can just like go surfing. Same with fishing, and yeah, you have to buy some of those supplies, but there's also like hikes and like sitting on the beach, and even simple things like reading is so much better here because you can do it on the beach. So you can just sit, read a book on the beach, and it is so peaceful. Snorkeling is obviously super cheap, so hiking is free. There's just so many cool things that you can do on the island and explore the land as a local, and it is so much fun. So since you guys are all subscribed here, if you're not, please subscribe to the channel and give this a thumbs up. Since we're all friendly here, I'm gonna share something with you. Tell me it's hot in Hawaii without telling me it's hot in Hawaii. So embarrassing, but it is what it is. So where we live on the North Shore is so beautiful. It is like so mountainy. The oceans are gorgeous. The North Shore is actually the 7 miles of heaven. So it's like 7 miles of just beautiful, beautiful beaches. And you just drive like along the whole coastline to go anywhere. Like even on my way to Costco, I go south and I pass like Jurassic Park where it was filmed, and Jumanji, like where that was filmed as well. And it was just like this gorgeous scenery that you get to just see and experience every day. You get to hike it, you get to walk by it, you get to do and just experience it all the time, as well as sunrises here and sunsets are so gorgeous. They are so beautiful, especially if you go to Sunset Beach. Long story short, if you love being outside and seeing beautiful nature and experiencing it and being active, then this is the place for you. The next thing I wanted to talk about is that the aloha spirit is something that you don't really understand and you see in movies, but it is so amazing, and when you are here you are truly like able to be immersed and experience it. It is so awesome. Like neighbors are so great. Like if you truly live with the locals where we live, and you respect the land, like they love you and they respect you and they are so sweet and so kind. Everybody drives so slow here. It's just like this slow pace of life where everything is just peaceful, minimalistic, and just aloha. It's a way of life, and it truly is a way of life. You just live with aloha. So truly love that part of Hawaii, and it's not for everyone. If you're used to fast pace, like running around from here and there and wanting to get somewhere quick and like the big party scene, that's not what Hawaii is. Hawaii is very slow paced. There's no drinking on the beaches. It is just this like very relaxed place. What I've learned really very quickly is that if you respect the land, the people around you and the locals like so appreciate that. So I grew a garden and my neighbor comes by like on the regular to see how my garden is doing and just loves it. She gives me fist pumps, and like it is just so sweet to experience that because I'm growing like vegetables, but I'm stewarding the land and they really appreciate that. So like littering, things like that here is like so detrimental because you protect like the land and you protect Hawaii. So as long as you're here and you have that outlook, they're gonna love you. So that leads me into the discussion of if this is a place where you want to live or if you want to vacation here. Depends how you want to live and what you want to get out of it. I feel like this is a really awesome vacation spot. It's also a really great spot to live. It just depends what you need and what you like prioritize in your life. All right, last but not least are the little things that I've picked up over the last 90 days that aren't necessarily bad. It just is something to know about Hawaii if you're thinking about moving here or being here for like an extended period of time, not so much if you're on vacation. Okay, so for starters, shipping delays. You are on a little island thousands of miles away from the mainland, so Amazon Prime is not a thing. Amazon, I ordered something weeks ago, still haven't gotten it from Amazon, and it's just a book. So yes, you can utilize Amazon, but you're not gonna like get the one-day shipping that you would say like in Arlington, Virginia, or in these big cities where Amazon can be like at your door same day, like for free. So you do not get that here. You can still order, but like some websites you'll go on and they'll say free shipping to the US, and then you put in your address and it's in Hawaii and it says, just kidding, it's $7. Shipping delays are kind of a bummer, but it's something that doesn't really bother me too much because again, if you're living minimalistically, you're not needing to buy things online so much. So it's kind of cool to live in a place where Amazon can't access you that quickly. I don't know. I really like it. I think it's a positive because it actually makes me spend less money. The last but not least is something that is pretty big, I feel like, in terms of moving to Hawaii is your job. Finding a job here and making sure that you have a job to afford the expenses that come with living in Hawaii is very important. But not only that, is if you have to work 2 jobs to afford this or like support a family, it could be a make or break option for you, because if you have to work 2 jobs, you're not really getting that time off of work to really enjoy the island, and if that's worth working 2 jobs to live here, like a work-life balance type thing. As well as if you do have a job and it's located in the city, are you gonna live in the city? Are you gonna live in the North Shore? Are you gonna commute? Because a lot of people like the country and the beauty of the North Shore, but if you have to commute all the way down to Honolulu every single day, Monday through Friday with traffic, and just like it's a 1-lane road basically, like all the way there until you hit like the major highway down there, and 1 lane back. So if there's an accident, it can get a little dicey, as well as just, it's a long commute. It's like over an hour. So depending on if you want to do that every day, you may have to live in Honolulu, which is just kind of another city. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope this was helpful for anybody moving to Hawaii, interested in just what Hawaii and life in Hawaii is like, or if you're thinking about coming to school here or temporarily living here for just like a couple months. I just wanted to share the facts with you of what I've learned in the last 90 days. So I hope this is beneficial for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like this video, and I will see you later.